before you watch, alright, so before you watch the video, just so you know, the voice you're gonna be hearing for my introduction, just so you know, I'm just using it for the actual introduction, not the whole what if. But if you want me to do a video using that voice, which I think would be cool, if you want me to do, I'm probably gonna do a video. But if you want me to actually do like a what if, you just using that voice for the whole video, comment down below, and I'll make it happen. Also, stay to the end because there is a question that I do have to ask. Just make sure to watch the end because I do have an important question to ask pertaining to the future of this series about what I'm going to do with like the abilities. But yeah, let's get right into it. That'll be fun.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? It's the boy Don Soyce in the morning, and it's just the morning because I'm your macho man Don Soyce. I'm deciding that it's morning. Wherever you are, even if it's dark, it's morning. Yeah, Don Soyce. You already know. I'm Pickle Rick. Morty, flip over the pickle. I'm Pickle Rick. But pop culture references aside, yeah. Uh, Today is gonna be what if Deku had the Sharingan, and if you guys watch my video, which I bet a bunch you didn't, you should. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore, but whatever. I mean, you still should. Give me them views. Give your boy the views. But yeah, I said there's gonna be a new what if. It was gonna be a mystery one. It was gonna release that last out of all the things I had in store. I decided to release it already because I really wanted to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm doing YouTube for fun, so I mean, if I'm not having fun, if I'm restricting myself too much, I'm gonna, get tired of it quickly. I'm just not gonna want to do it, and I really want to, stay on here. And I just, I decided to do what I wanted to do, and I really wanted to get this out, and I think you're all gonna enjoy it. So, bringing it out. Just so you know, this thumbnail is by the Glorious One. I'm gonna have his Twitter and his YouTube account in my description. Go check him out and hit DM him on Twitter, and he'll get you a thumbnail for cheap. Get a PayPal or Cash App though. But yeah, with that, let's get right into it. Don Soyce, Sand Village Gang. Get my intro in here.
Izuku, from a young age, had always dreamed of being a hero and being like his role model, the number one hero, All Might. His quirk had been taking a while to manifest though, so he went to the doctor. He had then been told at a young age that he wouldn't develop a quirk since he had two joints in his pinky, meaning that he wouldn't be able to develop one. This was one of the most crushing moments of his life. From that day on though, he tried to stay as positive as possible, as his mom was always trying to keep him as positive as possible. Izuku was also somewhat of a fit kid since his father at a young age had always wanted to get into exercising, mostly just running. Even though he was gone, Izuku still wanted to keep relatively fit. This helped him in confrontations, especially with his bully, Bakugo. It came in handy in situations like today, like when Bakugo tried to take Izuku's notebook on heroes, but he was able to run out of class before it was taken from him. On that day, while Izuku was walking home, he wanted to keep his spirits high, so he had a big smile on his face and laughed as loud as he could, which led to him being a target for the Sledge villain. As Izuku struggled against the villain, All Might then appeared, and was able to defeat the villain with one punch, no Saitama. After he woke up, Izuku asked All Might to sign his notebook, only to see that he already had. The number one then prepared to jump away from the scene, but as he was about to take off, Izuku grabbed onto his leg, forcing him to make a premature stop on top of a building. When they landed on the roof, as Izuku tried to talk, All Might then became Small Might as he deflated. He then explained his situation to Midoriya's surprise. After this explanation, Izuku asked what was on his mind, for possibly his whole life. All Might, there's something I want to ask you. I don't have a quirk, but I still dream. I want to ask you, can I be a hero even without a quirk? All Might sighed and said, I'm sorry, kid, but heroes have to face off against dangerous villains with dangerous powers every day. You can't even survive in this profession, my bad. You can't survive in this profession without a quirk. You could always try to become a police officer. It's much more thankless, but still a noble profession. All Might then walked away, telling Midoriya not to tell people about his real boy, but it fell on deaf ears. Izuku had stood there for minutes after All Might. His hero, his idol, he had just told him that his dream couldn't become a reality. His world was crushed. He began to tear up, and unbeknownst to him, his eyes had just morphed in a strange way. After a while just standing still, Izuku decided to go home. On his way walking home though, Izuku saw a villain causing havoc in the street. He then saw that it was the sludge villain from earlier, and then pieced together what happened. He figured out that after All Might defeated the sludge villain, he must have trapped him in a bottle, and he guessed that after it clung to him, he must have dropped off. He felt terrible, then his grief grew as he saw that the villain had captured Bakugo. Heroes were surrounding the villain, but none of them could do anything. It was all his fault. He was the reason Bakugo got captured. He had to act. He then ran towards him. A hero named Death Arms tried to grab Izuku before he could get too close, and right before he got his hands on him, the boy got a random boost in speed, enough so they could escape the hero's clutches. He then got to the villain and began to claw at him, trying to get his classmate out. Bakugo then yelled at him to stay away, but in response he just said, I can't just stand around and let you die, Kachan. During all the confusion, Bakugo didn't see it, but young Midoriya's eyes had once again morphed like they did on the roof. While clawing, All Might was in the crowd and he saw the whole thing unfold. The kid that he told couldn't be a hero was jumping into action, while a bunch of heroes could only stand around him. This young boy he had just put down had now inspired him into action, even though he had reached his limit earlier. He forced himself to go into his buff form and rushed into action, once again taking out the villain with one punch. One so powerful that it changed the very weather. After the confrontation, Izuku got chewed out for rushing in, and Bakugo got praised for having such a powerful quirk. After he got turned loose, Izuku began to walk home, but was stopped on his way by Bakugo. He stopped him only to complain and tell him that he didn't need his help, and after, angrily mumbled as he stomped off. As he was about to start home again, Izuku got stopped a second time, but this time it was by All Might, that had, once he got in front of him, transformed into Small Might, spitting out a bunch of blood. He stopped him because he had something important to tell him. Listen, young man, if you hadn't told me your story, if I hadn't seen your actions, I might not have lived up to what a hero should be in the situation from earlier. Izuku tried to interject by saying it was his fault in the first place and that he shouldn't have interfered being quirkless, but All Might came at him saying that was his point. He had no quirk but still tried to rush in there and help when other heroes could do nothing but just stand around. He then said, Young man, you can be a hero. Upon hearing this, Izuku just broke down, and when he looked up, All Might saw his eyes, which had for the third time that day transformed from their normal state. When Toshinori saw his eyes, he was extremely taken aback and notified him about the change in his eyes and told him to go home and told him to go home to check out what was happening, and then he told him where to meet up with him the next day. Izuku ran home, tears falling from his eyes, yet still smiling, eyes glowing red all the way. When he got home, Inko ran to Midoriya, seeing the state he was in, and it made her worry. They both began to comfort each other, and as they calmed down, Izuku told his mom about his day and pointed to his eyes, which were still glowing red, that Inko somehow managed to miss in her panic. When she saw, she whimpered, So, it's finally happened. Her son asked what she meant, and then she took him to a room. She rustled around to her room. She then rustled around and found a box that had some papers in it and gave it to Midoriya. From the box, Midoriya pulled out a small mirror, and he looked into it. His eyes were black and red, with one strange prong in each. He then looked at the papers, the first one he saw having a picture with eyes like his, but in them they had three of the weird prong things in them, and the word Sharingan right next to it. That was a pretty close call today. You can and have wizarded your way out of confrontations by running, but no such luck today. It was lucky that All Might showed up, wasn't it, Izuku? Alright, so that's gonna be the end of the episode of episode 1 of What If Deku Had the Sharingan, and some questions real quick. So you're probably wondering what was that last scene? And yeah, I'm gonna leave that a mystery. Who was that? What was he doing? You don't even know, but we'll go over that in the future, giving some sort of stay. A mystery. People love a mystery. They want to find out the answer to the mystery. Find out what's happening. But yeah, we're gonna find that out later. And why Deku was calling the Tomoe prongs. He doesn't know what they're called yet, so that's why I referred to them as just like prongs. And so here's a question I do have for the later videos. For the abilities of the Sharingan, I'm gonna have to tweak them a little for like the My Hero Academia universe. So first question is, for the abilities, do you want me to have episode 1.5 after this one, so that I can just explain all of the Sharingan abilities in one? It'll be like having Izuku read them all out, and it'll just explain everything and how it's converted into My Hero Academia. Or would you rather have it so that I just slowly explain them all throughout the episodes, and you just see for yourself? Also, the second question is Susanoo or no Susanoo? I don't know what I want to do, but I'm not sure. But do you want Susanoo in this what if or not? Comment down below. But yeah, with that, it's pretty much everything. And if you like what you see, check out my other videos, and also give this a like if you liked it. Check out my other videos if you like what you see on my channel. Subscribe, and also if you're subscribed, turn on notifications. And as of right now, when I'm recording this outro, it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day, and make sure to tell your fathers happy Father's Day. And if you're a mother, I'm not saying happy Father's Day to you, because you're a mother. You have your own day. Get over it. Anyway, with that is going to be done. Soycing out. See you later. Have a good day. Stay safe. Peace out.